What's good, YouTube? Dat Boy Dirty coming at you guys again today. This time we are going to be adding a concept tip to our New England Patriots tight offset tight end mini scheme. And like I said, this is a concept tip. This is not going to be a money play that'll get you a one play touchdown or anything like that. It's just a concept that I like to use at a tight offset tight end to sort of give our opponent a different look and just add something else to our arsenal that we can use. So I'm going to come out in slot outs. You can pick any play you want. And I am just going to come out in random die. So I'm going to start on the right hash mark just because you'll see in a second why. But the tip that we're going to talk about, or the concept, is the motion. So there's two different motions I really like out of this scheme. And we're going to take our outside receiver B over here on the running back side and motion him to the left. So this does a few things. One, all right, something a lot of people don't know. Let's say you're blitzing or you're playing against an opponent who likes to blitz a lot and you're having trouble picking it up. In a normal tight offset tight end, our original look, I can't block any of my receivers. I can block my running back, but I can't block my X, Y, A, or B receiver. If I motion over B, all right, once he's set, I can now block him. So that just gives us another look. I usually don't block him, but it gives us a possibility. All right, so what I like to do with that receiver once I motion him over is it's really anything I want. The reason we do this is because if you look at other formations that are very popular in the game, a lot of them have a bunch concept. So they're either a bunch or a trip. So what that means is there are three receivers to one side of the field, and this helps. This is great for spacing, route combos, etc., etc. So I love putting them on a drag. I love putting them on streaks, but you can mix it up in any way, shape, or form. So an example of this, all right, of a route combo we can use over here. Let's say I drag my X receiver or my B receiver. I put Y on a streak, and I put X on an out route. So that could just be one. I can maybe smart route my tight end up a little bit, and I can just hike this. So boom, running back gets open. But there are so many different possibilities, guys. I can't tell you a certain setup I do because it's really just any read. But that point right there brings me to my second point. It's not used as much anymore as it was back when I first started playing Madden, like late 2000s, early 2010s. Yes, I'm getting old. But something that was utilized back then that we could still use today is when I motion this guy, watch how the cornerback follows him. What does that tell me? It tells me they're in man defense. So if I motion him over and no one follows, they're most likely in zone. If I motion them over and the guy follows, I know that they're in man. That helps because now I know which route combos are going to win. All right, now that I know they're in man, what are my good man beating route combos? I have drags, I have whips, out routes, return routes, deep crossers. All right, a great three-man combo routes is what I have on the left, which is a deep crosser in the middle, drag on the inside, and a return on the outside. So it might look something like this. I'm just going to block my running back so it's easier to see. But it looks something like this. And one of these routes should get open. B is open. I'm just going to throw Y. But I had two routes open. So that's a great advantage of being able to see whether your opponent is in man or zone. Once again, we have the man look. So how about let's switch it up. Let's put X on a whip. Let's put Y on a streak. Maybe they have no safety help, and I'm just going to keep B on a drag. I'm going to put my tight end on an out route. Smart route it up a little bit to give B some space. And I'm just going to keep my running back on this Texas route because I know that's great versus man. So I'm going to get sacked here on purpose so I can just see and replay what was open. But I think Y, nope, not fast enough, but let's, like this whip route, he actually plays it really well. So that's not open, but this B route is open. Doesn't help that he bumps into everybody, but that's technically open. All right, running back route is obviously open, but that tight end route is also open. So it helps when you're playing, like I said, verse. You know whether your opponent's in man or a zone. Yeah, love that return route. Another route that's great versus man are these corner routes that are stemmed down. If anyone's played competitive Madden this year, you know what I'm talking about. It's a corner route, and then I'm going to take X. I'm going to On the hot route screen, I'm going to hold LB and then use my left analog stick to bring him all the way down. If they're doing inside leverage with their DBs, that should be wide open. But yeah, I'll do something like this. So let's keep Y on a streak. Block our running back. So even a slant. So let's just try a slant for the hell of it. So like, I don't know if you guys saw that. Boom. That corner route's a quick, easy read. So that little cut right there, that little separation, lead that to the sideline. So with your analog stick, you're probably aiming it at about 10 o'clock. All right, you could even throw that to the inside. So you beat his man. I can throw that right here at 12 o'clock. But my slant's also open. All right, so just like I said, guys, there is no setup. There is no design set. All right, just mix it up. Find some route combinations that you love. Something like this would be a great concept. That corner route by the tight end, boom. So yeah, just mix it up, guys. The world is your canvas. That's the first part about the first setup for motion. The second one, now actually, I probably should include this. You can take this outside receiver to motion over here. I don't necessarily love it because the only thing I do love about it is this ISO receiver on the left side. But I don't like having 4 receivers on one side of the field here. If we include our running back, it's not like it's not possible to be successful. I just don't typically do that. What I will do is we have our running back. I can motion him over here and then motion him up. So now I am technically in 5 wide. I could also block my running back here if I want. But this drag route by the running back is just so money. It's almost impossible to stop, especially when you mix in streaks like this. So if I did something like this is a great route combo where those 2 streaks will take away any of the hook zones for a split second, along with obviously the deep routes. If it's zone, if it's man, maybe they can beat them deep. I'm not sure who you guys have those positions. I have 3 man beating route combos. I have the corner on the right. I have the drag on the inside, which is just absolute money this year, and that return route. So as you guys can see, I don't know what it is about these drag routes by the running back motioned, but notice how fast he gets off the line. It's almost like you can see, it's almost like a little glitch right there where he just so quickly, and if you actually look at it, this drag route is open, even though it got swatted down. This is open, and so is our return route. All 3 are open, so just make the right read. And I'm going to do that again, so you just motion them over. And then something like that. So I could have hit my running back there. I'll just hit him now. But and an advantage, guys, that people don't talk about is when I have my running back in the backfield like this on the route, there's a good chance a linebacker is going to be guarding them. All right. And if it's not a linebacker, it's probably a safety. And the reason I say that's an advantage is, 1, linebackers are typically slower. But 2, the safety, they're usually not up on the line of scrimmage. They're back. They're safeties. They play farther back. So unless your opponent is moving their safeties all the way up to the line, which they won't do because it'll open up other stuff over top, your matchup with the running back here is usually in your favor. So I'll drag him, but I'll either put him on a drag or a streak, maybe a slant every now and then, but it's usually one of those 2. So let's do this combo that I know the competitive Madden community loves, which is a corner route smart routed down. We have our slot fade, which I'm going to smart route up a little bit, and then we have our streak. So that is a killer versus zone. And then on the right side of the field, I can do whatever I want. I'm just going to put A on a streak, the tight end, and let's just put him on a return route. So this, I have 2 man beating routes. I have a zone beating concept on the left. This should not be guarded. So these streaks are just money this year. I want to run that. I just want to show that again, guys. The streaks this year to the inside of the field from tight offset tight end are money. All right, so that, it doesn't look like it's that open, but that is open. Got that space right there. This route is also open coming underneath. And then if you actually look at it, all right, I'm probably not going to throw that, but if I threw that to the outside, it is somewhat catchable. I wouldn't throw it, but just let's do that again. So slot fade, smart routed up, and go into practice mode, guys. Get used to some of these route combos because yes, you're gonna have to have some fast fingers. Make sure you're picking your play early in the play clock so you got plenty of time. But yeah, like right there, I threw that way too late. Should have thrown that earlier. I want to try it one more time. So try that again. And guys, I just want to say, when it comes to drag routes, return routes, whatever you have on the field, guys. So let's go back to this combo that we were doing well in earlier. All right, take the underneath routes. That's what's gonna help win you guys games. The rack catches in this game are great. But like I said, I love running these concepts with the motioning because it opens up a lot. I can do something like this. This is an old-fashioned Madden concept. On the left side for zone, it's our flood. So if I did something like this, that should work pretty well. So this is the zone beating concept right here. And I'm telling you guys, especially when you're motioning these guys, whether it's B or RB, those out routes or the outside receivers are so important. So I'm just going to show you guys an example. I'm going to put him on a speed out, and those outside flat routes, whether it's speed outs, flats, whip routes like this, they're all so important because it makes your opponent respect those short out routes, because if they're not putting a flat zone there or anything like that, you should be able to torch them. That's right there, cover zero, the streaks that we love throwing. But yeah, guys, just get creative. Like I said, something like this. That would be a great route combo right here. You can even throw in, if anyone's looked recently at these stemmed curl routes, it could be something like this where, we got double drags. Boom. These are almost impossible to stop right now. Just have fun with it, guys. It's just a different look. But the last thing I want to say before we get out of here is running at a shotgun this year is not attractive. There's a lot of block sheds. It's hard to get over the line of scrimmage. But it does help. So I'm going to come out inside zone here when you motion a guy over. So if you notice here, they're in zone. So they're not going to, the cornerback on that side is not going to follow. And this allows us to have an extra blocker on that side of the field. So look at that. Boom. I get, of course, Matthew Golden decides not to block. But so if I motion him over, once again, they're in zone. I have an extra blocker. There should be just a little bit better blocking. So like that. And I'm not saying you're going to crib a touchdown by doing this, but it just helps. Now, if they motion over the man, it is what it is. But yeah, like you're trying to just get an extra blocker. I want to try to get one decent run before we get out of here. But I usually let him set, make it look like I'm doing a pass play. I'll make some more fake adjustments so my opponent thinks I'm passing. But yeah, just something else to add, guys. If you ever feel like running it, you're in the goal line, you want to get a few yards running the ball. Yeah, something like that. That's a nice one to end on. All right, guys. Have fun with it. Hit practice mode. Try some different route combos. And good luck.